Total chaos is the only phrase that truly captures the rapidly deteriorating state of the Women's National Basketball Association. As the league approaches what should be the most anticipated opening night in its 30-year history, mainstream sports media and polished executive messaging continue to paint a picture of perfection, soaring revenue, seamless mainstream success, and complete harmony between players and front offices. But beyond the corporate narrative lies a far more volatile reality. Dedicated, financially invested fans, the very force driving the league's growth, are growing increasingly frustrated, and their voices are becoming impossible to ignore. Across social media, comment sections, and even at ticket counters, a loud and coordinated wave of backlash is building. The honeymoon phase is over. Fans are no longer satisfied with simply supporting the league's existence. Instead, they are demanding immediate and meaningful change. The WNBA now finds itself sitting on a self-created powder keg, with its most passionate supporters holding the match. If action isn't taken quickly, the league risks losing.
There's an overhead shot of this game, and you can already see there were a ton of empty seats in this place. A ton. And my goodness, this overhead shot, literally, the account that put this out, tons of empty seats, and this was pre-halftime. Correct. There was about 5 minutes left before the half when this shot.
The most urgent and explosive demand driving this fan uprising centers on player safety and the league's deeply inconsistent officiating. Many fans believe the Women's National Basketball Association has been handed a once-in-a-generation opportunity with Caitlin Clark, a transformative offensive talent drawing global attention. Yet officials are failing to protect her on the court. Night after night, supporters watch in frustration as she absorbs constant physical contact, off-ball grabs, bumps, and aggressive defense, while referees hesitate to intervene. This has fueled growing concern that repeated physical strain could eventually lead to serious injury, prompting calls for stricter enforcement of rules designed to eliminate excessive contact. Influential voices like Candace Parker have echoed this sentiment, arguing that Clark should be officiated with the same level of protection afforded to stars like Stephen Curry. Fans see this as non-negotiable. Protect the league's biggest draw or risk losing the very audience fueling its growth. At the same time, frustration is boiling over toward front offices and roster construction, particularly in the case of the Indiana Fever. Despite landing cornerstone talents like Clark and Aaliyah Boston, critics argue the team has failed to build a balanced, competitive roster around them. Weak bench production, inconsistent performances from key players like Kelsey Mitchell, and a lack of reliable two-way depth have amplified concerns about management competence. A particularly painful example came against the Dallas Wings, where the bench disparity exposed serious structural flaws. Fans are now demanding accountability at the executive level, calling for a smarter roster building, modern basketball strategies, and a shift toward operating like a serious, high-performance professional organization. For them, it's no longer about patience. It's about results, and anything less is unacceptable.
Aside of losing the announcers, the clarity was real good. So there's that. Crisp picture, just no audio outside of the 2,000 fans that were screaming. Wow. I gotta tell you, whoa. Guys, I think this season is going to surprise a lot of people, and maybe not in such a great way at all.
This brings us directly to the third and potentially most financially devastating dimension of the chaos surrounding the Women's National Basketball Association. Fans are no longer passive supporters. They are fully aware of their economic power and are now actively using it to hold the league accountable. For more than 2 decades, the WNBA benefited from a loyal core audience that often purchased tickets out of principle, supporting women's sports regardless of inconsistencies in on-court product. That era has clearly ended. A new wave of fans, many drawn in by the meteoric rise of Caitlin Clark, approaches the league with a completely different mindset. These consumers are not driven by loyalty alone. They are driven by entertainment value, quality, and professionalism. When they encounter poor officiating, questionable coaching decisions, or weak roster construction, They don't complain quietly. They disengage financially. This shift became impossible to ignore during a preseason matchup involving the Indiana Fever, where ticket prices reportedly dropped to as low as $12 in an effort to fill seats. Even then, visible sections of the arena remained empty, sending a clear and calculated message. Fans are willing to walk away if the product does not meet expectations. For a franchise that previously led the league in attendance, this was not just a bad night. It was a warning.
Couple things pretty evident tonight, I would say, during this game. Lack of depth, and clearly, look, before everybody starts saying, oh, but that was right before halftime, blah, blah, blah. Listen, I know some of you are going to try to support this. That's great. But, I'm supporting the team and trying to, but that doesn't mean fans aren't right. That doesn't mean fans aren't.
The clock is ticking, and the pressure surrounding the Women's National Basketball Association is reaching a boiling point. Opening night is no longer just another date on the calendar. It's a defining moment that could shape the trajectory of the entire season and possibly the future of the league itself. With the regular season about to begin, all eyes from across the sports world will be locked in, analyzing every detail on a national stage. This is not hype anymore. This is a full-scale test of credibility. If the league steps onto the court and delivers the same inconsistent, chaotic product that critics have pointed to in recent weeks, the consequences could be immediate and severe. If officiating continues to be questioned, especially in how physical play is handled against stars like Caitlin Clark, the backlash will only intensify. If teams like the Indiana Fever continue to struggle with depth and allow games to slip away due to weak bench production, it will reinforce every concern fans have already raised. And if arenas fail to reflect the massive wave of media attention with actual attendance, it will send a powerful message about the gap between hype and reality. This moment represents more than just basketball. It's a referendum on trust. The fans who have been vocal, passionate, and even critical are still engaged right now. But that engagement is fragile. If their concerns are ignored, frustration could quickly turn into indifference. And indifference is far more damaging than outrage, because it leads to silence, empty seats, declining viewership, and lost momentum. The league has a narrow window to prove that it can deliver a product that is not only exciting, but also fair, competitive, and professionally managed. Supporters have already made their expectations clear. Protect star players, ensure accountability at the executive level, build balance in competitive rosters.